The podcast, which you are about to listen to, is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 3 library staff members, tasked with picking films for each other to view. It is all the more tragic that they were relatively young, but had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to listen to as much of the mad and macabre as they were to experience this day. For them, a day at the office became a nightmare. The events of this discussion were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre podcasts in the annals of American history, the Real Opposites Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Real Opposites. I'm Aaron,
I'm Josh.
I'm Tobey.
and we are back this episode to discuss Tobey's pick, Akira.
Yeah.
What I forgot already.
It's okay. So it is technically, you can say Akira because that's like the Western version, but I guess the technical pronunciation is Akira.
Akira.
Yep. It's like it's an AH at the beginning. Akira.
I don't know why that's so hard for me.
It wouldn't be hard except you're thinking about how it looks, right?
Maybe.
So yeah.
So that is what we watched. When did this come out?
So this is an older movie.
Came out in 1988.
Yeah, 1988.
Okay.
It is a old one. It was only available subtitled for like a really long time.
Mhm.
And it got a dub in the 90s, and then that was okay, and then it got a really good dub in the 2000s. That was really well done.
Yeah. They did a whole remaster and
Yeah.
remixed the soundtrack.
So that's probably what I watched.
That's what you
because I got
watched.
it on
That's what
Yeah,
you
you
watched,
watched the new sound
have
mix
here.
and the new restoration and
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Right. And it is, so for me, like, both it is, I love this movie personally, but I love anime in general.
Mhm.
And as far as anime movies go, it is usually in the top 1 or 2. And as far as movies go, especially sci-fi films, it's usually in the top 100, if
Oh,
not,
yeah,
if
easy.
not
Yeah.
higher. It's one of like the most, I think, like penultimate kind of examples of like cyberpunk and what like a cyberpunk movie should be.
It's the Citizen Kane of anime.
Yeah, it's
Like,
beautiful. Yeah.
Mhm.
It takes a lot of inspiration from like Blade Runner,
Mhm.
especially with the Neo Tokyo, but
Yeah.
it's also inspired a lot of films afterward,
Right.
like The Matrix and
Oh, okay.
anything that's like sci-fi, like dystopian,
Mhm.
cyberpunk is like Akira's in there a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. And it's, I mean, it is I just think it's a beautiful movie. It's a
Mhm.
shining example of like, so the reason that a lot of people say, and I'm not usually like a anime purist. I am not usually the sub is the only way to watch it. I don't agree. I don't even think that's true for Akira, but like for that one, for this one, the sub is very good because it's one of the few movies where they recorded the sound for every setting and then they matched the animation of the lips to the sound.
Okay.
So if you watch the sub, it is very seamless. Like it
Yeah,
looks
it
like they
definitely
are
is.
really talking. It's very beautiful. Whereas with the dub, it's obviously not going to match up perfectly because it's a different language. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was thinking about it this morning, and I was like, "Man, did I watch a dub or did I watch with subtitles?" Because when I watch with subtitles, of course, I understand everything,
Mhm.
and I was just thinking like, I remember everything seeming on par. So
They just
I mean,
did a
that's
really
why.
good.
They
The
just did a really good
Funimation
job.
dub is very good.
Like
The
it didn't stick out as
Right.
it normally
Yeah.
does.
Right. So like I said, the sub is the one that's perfectly matched, but the Funimation dub is a truer translation than the 1990s dub, and it is more matched up to what they're like. They did a better
Yeah.
job of matching to what they're saying.
And also they didn't get like huge stars.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of the like Princess Mononoke and a lot of like the anime movies that would get a big Western release, they'd get like Kate Blanchett or
Yeah.
Gillian Anderson
Oh.
or Billy Bob Thornton or so. Like it was people that like you knew.
They mostly
Like,
relied on
oh,
their
yeah.
stable of
Yeah,
actual
you know
voice
their
actors
voice.
Yeah.
to do this
Yeah.
one.
So it kind of like would take. I was like, well, why do they sound like Sling Blade?
Yeah.
Right.
And I love like this thing is they like Funimation has a really big stable of voice actors they use for everything, and by the time they record this, they had 10 years of dubbing anime experience, right? So like if not more, and so like it's very well done,
Yeah.
but. It was an anime, and I know that how you feel about animation in general, Aaron. So I want to know what you thought.
So it was fine.
It was fine. I'll take fine. I'll take fine.
I mean, it's still like a no for me, probably.
yeah.
But I think anime, for some reason, it just doesn't capture my attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest part of it. I will say I liked that this one was not a lot of the, I don't know if there's a correct term for it or not, but a lot of times in anime where you have that like stop motion, like, you know, it's like just a freeze frame, but something's actually going on, like a fight or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was completely
Well, that's
like
'cause,
animated.
As
Yeah.
it says, it has 3 times the frames that a
Yeah.
normal
Yeah, and
anime
this-
does.
I've read that.
And the budget was $10 million, which was
Oh,
huge
wow.
for
Yeah.
an anime film.
It's still huge for an anime film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like part of so they had the money, they had the time, they had the artistry to like really fully animate it, and like some sequences and shots are 24 frames. Typically, like an animated film is going to be about half that.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, especially I think like later in the film, like when his arm is rebuilding, and like those are 24 frames a second because it makes it feel more like live action,
Right.
Like an animated you don't get that choppiness you get with a lot of anime. It's very smooth, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that helps it. I think for Western audiences, not like it just feels like you're watching an animated movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like you're. Why do the mouths not work
Right.
and why why is it so choppy?
And I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
It helped me pay more attention than I would another
I
style.
thought
But
you'd like some of the horror elements. that
yeah,
are
I
present
mean,
in
you
Akira
know,
also,
it's pretty brutal at times. It's an interesting story. I'm not gonna say that I didn't get confused, but I think some of that is because if my attention's not 100%, I might miss a part.
I would.
Yeah.
I say that the ending's really nebulous, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not clear what they mean by like the last sentence of the movie.
Mhm.
And I would say there is a lot of the movie itself that they leave out some detail. Like you don't really know why. I feel like you have to rewatch the movie probably 1 or 2 times to understand why like K is so important. And you got it like there's some things that are really nebulous.
Yeah.
But it's also a book to movie
Oh, okay.
like
Yeah. that's true.
translation
Before the book was finished, too.
before the book was finished.
Oh, wow.
So there's some details that the audience might have known, like
True.
the original intended audience may have known going into it because the manga was really popular. And it, that just like you get a book to movie now where it's like,
They
oh,
just leave out
they
stuff.
sometimes leave out some
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
it's like, if you watch the book, you know exactly what that is. But sometimes someone, or read the book, you know exactly what that is. And then sometimes you have someone who's like, I feel like this part was missing something. And I think
Right.
I think it has a little bit of that.
Okay.
But I think if you suspend your disbelief, it's just it's a very well made movie. So it's like
Yeah.
easy
Well,
to
I like
easily-
the ambiguity and the ending, and specifically reminds me a lot of like 2001, The Star Child at the end. I think it's really cool. Like I still really, it's been a while since I've watched it, but it's a great movie. I mean, I love it mostly just for the vibes and the animation.
Yeah. And I love that it just throws you in.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
chooses
Yeah.
instead of like, oh, this is a movie about like I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you
No, go
do
ahead.
that. But it's like I love that they like so instead of being like I feel like in a Western sensibility, if we are making a movie that is in dystopian and stuff like that, we are putting your main character is probably an adult. They're probably very familiar with the world that they're in, and they're probably some form of authority, at least in their own life, if not in the world in general, right? Like, they're a cop or they're like in the system in some way.
Yeah.
And I do kind of love that this movie kind of focuses a couple of punks in a street gang from the people who very much suffered the
Yeah.
worst under a system like that.
Mhm.
Like there are a couple of kids who grew up in a home without parents, and kind of the way that the world that they live in has made them victims, and then the way that always being powerless and then suddenly getting power can like warp people. And I really love that that's the like kind of focus, like the story just is like, yes, we're going to show you the atomic bomb.
Start
and
off.
then we're just going to take you in. It's not really an atomic bomb, but
Yeah,
in
well,
the
yeah.
cultural sense of Japan,
Yeah.
it's an atomic bomb. The world has been destroyed and we must recover from this. And it's like, and then it just takes you to like this guy running with this child, and then straight to the biker gangs, and there's no explanation of like who this is
Yeah.
until later you start to put it together. I just think it's
Yeah.
a good storytelling.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I love so I mean like I said, like the movie was very influenced by and influential to other movies. So it's like definitely the first Terminator was
Mhm.
very like, I think especially for the action sequences and for the like suspense and bike chases and stuff was very, they were very much inspired by that, and certainly Blade Runner. And then conversely, by the time you get to T2,
Mhm.
Cameron was very like, he kind of referenced Akira, like the nuclear, not the whatever, the giant explosion, the nuclear
Yeah.
explosion. I'm just going to call it nuke.
Yeah.
For the nuclear explosion in
Oh, okay.
T2, like that kind of like visceral,
Well, even
Imagery.
even
imagery,
the
yeah.
Terminator's like design to a certain extent, like the
Oh yeah, his
like his arm
yeah,
is
yeah,
very
Oh, yeah.
is very much
That's
like
true,
kind
yeah.
of how the Terminator
yeah.
becomes. And
And so I forgot how like trippy the
Cronenberg
body horror, like
like
when he's like expanding and it's all like just becomes like like a huge town basically.
Yeah.
It's like I forgot about that. I was like, Jesus, the animation is so freaking cool.
and it's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, and it's like you feel the like fleshy, like
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it, but
And
it's like
the way they animate like the tendrils reaching out and
Yeah,
like, grabbing people,
yeah.
and like one of the children, it almost
gets
like, lifts
squished
its head up.
in the fat in the like. It's like damn.
And poor
forgot about that.
Kaori just gets it rough from start to finish in this movie.
Yeah.
Tetsuo's girlfriend.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
she just every time she's on screen, something terrible's happening to her.
And like I said, I mean, I could definitely respect this one. Not, I understand why it is well liked and well received. I don't know. It's just an animated thing, but I mean, like I've said before, there's not tons of animated like movies here released here that I watch. So it's not just an anime thing. I don't watch a lot of animated movies, anyways.
Yeah.
I've never been huge on them. I mean, I've watched.
I
like,
hate animation no
some.
matter what country it comes from.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anime usually is like the most difficult thing for me to watch.
Well, a lot of times, like especially like they are very limited by budget, and they're also very limited by time because they are under both anime and manga suffer from the like not to criticize it too much because it's not my country, but like the Japanese industrial complex of like this needs out, just like Hollywood does, right? So
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean-
this needs out right now. You're under this massive time pressure,
Right.
but instead of like trying to coordinate a bunch of actors doing stuff, it's like, oh, this is frame by frame animation, so it's 80 hours a day for the people, like or 80 hours a week.
I'll say that'd be hard.
Yeah. It was like 80 hours a week, just like sitting there and drawing frame by frame, and eventually it just becomes like they're like, all right, you get 6 frames to get the scene across, or like 24
Yeah.
frames to get this minute, like this across, and it's like or second
And-
across, and it's just like
That's
How do you
surely
do?
been my problem with anime is like, even like Ghost in the Shell,
Yeah.
I really noticed it last time I watched this. Like, there's so many just like
stills.
still frames,
Mm-hmm.
and the camera's just like slowly panning, and I'm like, there's a voiceover. I'm like, okay, yep, I get it. Can we like some
Right.
movement?
And see, that's
And-
what
Yeah.
a lot of it does for me.
I
I mean,
do
it's
like
still
that
a
this
great
one-
movie, but like I really noticed that last time I watched it.
This one does none of that.
No. I
And
mean, it's
at all.
very,
And-
it's very alive.
And there is no exposition.
Yeah.
Basically,
No.
like you do not get a single bit. No one sits you down and tells you the
Right.
story of what is
That's true.
happening. So if you are not paying attention,
Mhm.
you have no idea what happened in Akira.
Right.
Like you have to basically like when I watch it, anytime I watch this movie, I turn the lights off, I put everything else away, and you basically just have to stare at the screen
Yeah.
to like really, really
Take it in.
take in what's happening and how beautiful it is.
Yeah.
Because there are shots that are brutal, but they're lovely.
Yeah, I mean, I would put this up there with the best animation, like the Fleischer Brothers animation back in the 40s, and like it just feels alive, like because they can in some shots, like you can see on the cell, like you can see the dirt almost,
Yeah.
and it's like
Right.
dancing around, and it just gives it I don't know if any of this was like rotoscoped, but it has that feeling. So like rotoscoping is like where they'll film like a live action, somebody, like they did for the Superman, like they'd film somebody going,
Yeah.
and then they would animate like kind of over that.
Right.
So you would
Okay.
have that very fluid movement. That's why if you watch any of those, like the Fleischer Supermans, they're like you just don't get that. Like
Yeah,
that's that
even
movement.
now, like even 100 years later, that stuff still looks better than anything animated
Yeah.
now. Has just kind of feels alive.
No.
So I don't know if they did any of that here,
Rotoscope
but
gives a very like a sense of space and
Yeah.
depth that like most anime doesn't have. I think they might have. That's not. It's not super common. I don't know in But when I'm
yeah,
thinking of some of the scenes and like the like depth of the scenes, potentially, I don't know.
yeah, I mean I don't know if they did. It was just like a thought, and
Yeah.
but it has that kind of feeling where it feels like you're just watching like a animated version of a person,
Right.
and as opposed to just like straight up animation.
And that actually, I was going to ask, but I just saw the answer. I was going to ask if they ever thought about doing a live action.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it looks like in the 1990s they were going to, but it was going to be over like 300 million to do it.
yeah. I mean,
So
you
they scrapped that.
I know they've
They've
talked
done it a
about
few
it
times.
doing it recently.
Taika
Okay.
Waititi was gonna direct it, and they
Oh,
were,
God.
and yeah,
Who?
Taika Waititi.
The guy that made the last couple Thor movies, and
Oh, okay.
He has made some great movies.
He has made-
What We Do in the Shadows, and that's phenomenal. But I don't know that he has like the.
no,
that
I
wasn't him,
wouldn't
yeah.
trust him to babysit a dog.
Yeah.
He's
He-
he's I mean, I'll give like his first few movies, like Hunt for the Wilder People's a
Yeah,
really
that's
cute
great.
movie.
Yeah.
I feel like there was another one he made. Oh, Jojo Rabbit was pretty good,
Yeah.
but he's on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can see them doing an live action version. I'm sure it would certainly be cheaper now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the 90s, like this would have been insane. Well,
Right.
actually, I don't know if either of you have ever seen Judge Dredd, the Stallone one.
Yep. Hmm.
I have not.
They could have done this in the 90s, and it would have looked a lot like the city in Judge Dredd.
I've also seen the more recent Judge Dredd, and
Yeah.
that was okay too.
That one's very different. The
Yeah.
Judge Dredd from the 90s with Stallone is
Yeah.
like the city, whatever the city's called, Mega City,
Yeah.
it's basically like this kind of hybrid of Akira and Blade Runner. And
Yeah.
It's all rainy and,
I-
so they could have done it. And that movie was very expensive.
Yeah. Well, they could have. I think they could have done it.
Yeah.
But like, I also don't know. I have trouble. I've never seen like there is only one animated live action adaptation that I think is any good at all. There are some
What
that are
was that?
watchable. I like the One Piece adaptation.
No.
It's like it they do a good job. Like they cast the perfect people. They know the perfect
Wasn't
amount
that
of stuff to cut.
a
It's a
TV
series.
show?
It's
Yeah.
a series. Yeah, it's still ongoing. It's very good.
I've heard good things
If
about
you
it.
don't, if you never want to watch the anime, but you would like to know what One Piece is, it's worth doing.
Hmm.
I did I thought the Ghost in the Shell remake was all right.
Oh,
It was okay.
like
In some instances, like I like if it's a little bit more. It moves a little bit faster
Mm-hmm.
than but it ultimately didn't really do anything different. Like some sequences are just like shot for shot.
Yeah.
The original movie. So I don't know what the point is other than like you have an established property and we're just gonna make it.
I
with real
guess to
people.
make it for
Right.
people like Aaron that hate animation. But the thing is I feel like people that hate animation don't watch live action remakes of animes.
Yeah, I've
So
never
it
seen
doesn't
one.
it
Yeah.
doesn't
I
really
mean, the Ghost in the Shell remake flopped, so
yeah, so it doesn't really hit because the people who love the anime, it's like watching them. A lot of times they just butcher
Yeah.
it, like it's
Yeah.
just bad. I'm still like irate about the Cowboy Bebop live
Yeah.
action, but like, and they redid my favorite one. Like now these are series, but they redid Yu Yu Hakusho, and it wasn't that bad, but they only gave them 5 episodes to do 30 episodes in, and it just is not. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
That's not smart.
Big difference.
Yeah, yeah. Well, COVID happened,
Oh,
Yeah.
and they were like, you can finish it or you can scrap it, and so they did what they could. So that was like the casting was great. It was going to be okay. I think it just
Didn't have time.
yeah, they didn't have time. And it's like I don't agree. I don't think that this should ever be live action. I think it might be possible, but make a new, different, better, like, or not, maybe not better, but a new,
or maybe base
different-
it on the manga.
yeah, or base it on the manga and give
Yeah.
us more, or like make something
original.
original.
Yeah.
Make
That
make a
seems
really
hard these days for
great
some reason.
cyberpunk movie. Make
Yeah.
it like
Yeah.
just go out there and
Cool
do it.
ideas from it.
Pull ideas, pull
I feel-
inspiration. Throw in the bike slide if you
Yeah,
must, but like
Yeah, I mean, they definitely they'd have to throw in iconic stuff like that.
Yeah.
but,
So because I read that the manga, it was not completed until 2 years after the movie.
Mhm.
yeah.
So did they work with the person writing it to get the ending,
They
or did they
usually
come
do.
up with their own ending?
They
Do we
did.
know?
From I think I was watching a video yesterday. They did work with him, but like again, he didn't have everything
right.
Planned out.
fleshed out, so it was
Okay.
kind of like they had to fill in
It was like
some of the gaps.
they got notes
Yeah.
on like
So I mean, if
here's-
they went off the manga instead of the movie, it could be different enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like if they did
that
like
it would be like its own
you
thing.
know, like a trilogy almost, because each
Mhm.
was
They
it
would
isn't
need
there
to
like
do a
3
trilogy.
large volumes?
there's spot.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like an HBO series.
Yeah.
Well,
the-
but
I
it's a
could-
manga, so it's not like a book, right?
Yeah.
So like
That's true too.
I feel
But
like
still-
you could probably do a miniseries.
Those
or
are those are
trilogy.
chunky volumes
They
though,
are.
so they would. I feel like one of those would be a movie,
Mhm.
Yeah.
probably. You know.
Yeah, if you did it right.
Yeah.
If you did it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like anything like the cyberpunk genre is so like nobody's really done a whole lot different with it
Yeah.
since Blade Runner and Akira, and
Mhm.
you know it's like there's always a rainy city with
Mhm.
like skyscrapers and neon lights, and it's like
I mean, it's just
there's not they're like you got to it needs something fresh. I don't like that genre doesn't need a remake of the most
Ac-
acclaimed
Right.
anime ever. It needs like something,
I need some new blood.
or take it in like an interesting direction.
Make it-
that's,
Make it brighter. Like cyberpunk can still be gritty, but have like I feel
Yeah.
like so much cyberpunk is nihilist at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Like there is no. It is this is hopeless and there is no hope.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that's true for Akira. I think that's this is too big for us now, but someday we might be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Is like kind of the thing is like everything seems so oppressive right now, and we can't get over the terror of our past. Is kind of what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But someday we might be able to because this new generation is coming up and they might be able to take it, or someday we are learning to grow is what it's essentially saying. Which is a beautiful takeaway there, but so much of cyberpunk is pretty nihilist at the end of the day, and I think it could benefit from yes, things are dark and gritty and bad, but finding the light within it, because I feel like that's why people don't necessarily gravitate people gravitate to cyberpunk because it extrapolates the horrors of our time, right?
Yeah.
It
Well-
extrapolates our struggles.
that's what I was
But-
getting ready to say. Is like some of it's starting to come true.
Right. And no one wants to watch
Yeah, and
their
it's like,
reality on TV.
yeah, it's,
yeah.
so many of these movies from like the 80s and 90s are like, Minority Report's a great one
Yeah.
where that, and what they, not to derail it, but like what they did with that was Spielberg went to scientists from the day and like, what would things look like in 50 years?
Mm-hmm.
How would they advertise things to you? How would they do this? How would they do that? How would, police officers operate? Like, what kind of
Right.
vehicles would, And
Get
that
more
movie,
like an educated.
yeah, that movie is like, it's getting,
Yeah.
like they have little droids, the drones go in and to, eyeball identify people in the apartment building, and it's
That's not too far. Like,
that's not too far. Yeah,
I don't think this is too far. Like,
No, it's not.
None of the
No, it's not. I mean,
technology.
if you
and
go to
stuff-
like Tokyo, like it.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
Tokyo.
none of the technology and stuff is that far off. The conditions that our society has created in large cities, and the way that the impoverished and the struggling live. I mean, we have this is based in 2019, and there are cities in the world that look like
Oh yeah.
this, where things like this happen. No, obviously not giant Cronenberg
People,
monsters
right.
Pretty cool.
taking
Yeah.
over. That would be neat. That would be a fun change of pace, but
Probably not for the residents.
no,
Like,
probably
okay, it's
not.
2 p.m. Ed over there is gonna blow up into a
Right.
giant flesh ball.
Probably not great, but like I said, I love the humanness, and I think that is something that I appreciate about anime, is that the sensibility about humanity is just a little different from a Western sensibility
Mm-hmm.
about like what they try. The human part of the story they try to tell is different, because
Right.
they're a much more
Different views.
they're a much more not global, but like their culture is much more about community, and
Mhm.
it's not so about the self.
Right.
So you have Kanata, who is trying to form this brotherly relationship with Tetsuo, and he thinks he's doing the right thing by protecting him and taking care of him and
Yeah.
trying to, but what is actually happening, because Tetsuo has been abandoned and is not able to accept this kind of what is actually love from his
Mhm.
brother. He instead sees it as someone of authority telling him what to do all
Right.
the time.
Yeah.
And it and just that's a very human story. You don't need the Cronenberg monster to tell that story in it to be compelling, right? But instead of him becoming, a rival street gang like we saw, well, honestly, it's instead of him becoming it's not that far off from City of God, right? Instead of him
yeah.
becoming a rival
Yeah.
street gang member who becomes the villain in Kanata's story, he gets taken for a secret government experiment and becomes his own universe. But it the human core of that story is still just two boys from a bad neighborhood
Yeah.
trying the best they can to
Yeah.
make it through the life that they have to experience under an extremely oppressive and corrupt government.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It is a kind of like a timeless story. It's just in a new skin.
It was, like I said, this is one that I think you should have seen, just for nothing else, as now that you have seen it, you will see scenes, pieces, ideas from it in
Yeah.
everything else.
Which I think is really neat that it has inspired so
Here's-
many things.
Here's the part I thought would confuse you. What did you think of the old lady children?
Yeah, that did confuse me. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's the part I'd never really understood, I don't think.
the children are from the time that Akira was created, which was he was another one of the kids. He was their sibling.
Right.
And something about the medicine that they give them
Makes them look
makes
like that.
them
Oh,
look
okay.
old, but also makes them
Young.
stay young. Kira, in Japanese, that word typically refers to it can refer to God.
Mhm.
So if you've seen Death Note, he is Kira because he is his pen name for the Death Note is Kira because he is a god.
Oh.
So Akira, so people consider Akira to be a god, and the ultimate takeaway there is this thing that people have been worshiping is dead, but by basically the force of human will, it can be brought into being again. Yeah. Anyway, so
But yeah, the little
yeah.
people were weird.
Yeah. Yeah, the ghost children.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched this because again they don't explain anything until you get halfway through the movie. I kept being like, "Are they aliens? Are they aliens?" Like for like a long time.
A lot of it does
Right.
point towards it being aliens almost.
But they're
It
not.
does have a very alien-like appearance sometimes.
But like even that, like obviously, we see the Esper children. That's 11 in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like she is an Esper from Akira.
True.
And the idea that like she's created by government experiments and she
Mhm.
just has a genetic potential that they tap into and are able to like
Well, similar to like scanners too.
scanners too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I love that the cost of, and I think like the cost of progress for progress sake in this movie is destruction.
Right.
The cost of just pushing forward with no regard for humanity or for the people beneath the foot, the people on the rim of the wheel, as people will say. The wheel is always turning. Only like I was watching Firefly again the other day, and he's like, the wheel's always turning, Badger, and Badger's like, the only matters to the people on the rim, and it's like and it's like for the people on the rim of the wheel, and that if you keep progressing for progress sake with no regard, no ethics, no regard for humanity itself, then the ultimate cost is utter destruction. And like, who better to tell a story about utter destruction than Japan, who experienced 2 atom bombs being dropped on their country and having to but that no one else has seen that. They saw that, right?
The only country that and it definitely informed like so much of their
cultural
art and films, and Godzilla is the atomic bomb.
Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Like.
But yeah, I keep thinking. I think when you're talking about that, I think of the line from Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is the ultimate, like, and I think when we are looking, like, it has something culturally significant to say, which I also think is something that I think a lot of animes do, but I think that they don't say it as well as Akira says it. And I think Akira says it extremely well.
Yeah. And I mean, even with having confusing parts, I mean, that's why I said I could appreciate this. It does have a story, and it tells its story, and it says what it means to say.
Did you have any favorite parts? Any parts that you were like, that made you say this is neat?
I mean, I liked some of the brutality of it, just like the bike gangs when they were fighting, just like knocking each other out. The one time that I forget, the one with the girlfriend.
Calorie?
Anyways, the time they attack them, like they just drive by and they clothesline her from from the back. I don't know. That stuff was interesting.
Aaron's just like senseless violence.
Yeah, it was. I just like that it went there.
Well, the brutality, like, of the street gangs, right, is very apparent. And then they're also, and it's like, oh, well, I think in a Western movie, and I don't know why this is a thing in Japan, but like in a Western movie, they're 20 and in a street gang.
Yeah,
they're in high school. Like they're in vocational school, but that is like high school for kids that can't pass their classes. Like so they're high school students that and it's like, oh, that's it's sad at the end of the day. And I suppose because they're so present in anime that child street gangs of kids on bikes like that
probably is a thing.
Because I mean,
based on the movies I've seen set in Japan, it seems like a thing.
Yeah, like I'd say that is a
so.
thing. Because it's in everything. Yep. Like especially in the 90s. If it was in the 90s, and it's not always the kids themselves, but they're like, oh, my mom was in a street gang when she was in high school, or so.
It's mentioned.
My mom murdered 14 people.
Yeah,
back in high school.
That's shockingly common. That's actually not that much of an exaggeration. So like the idea, and I love Kanata is like following her around is like, you didn't mean to kill that man, and we can just go turn yourself in, and when you get out of prison, I'll be waiting for you.
Right.
And it's just
like it's just
like,
casual.
He's like, you can't kill people. That's not okay. And she's like, kid, you've been playing around street gang. I'm in the revolution. As far as she understands it, but she's not. She's a puppet.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, she thinks she's doing the right thing, and she's being puppeted by one of the corrupt government officials who, once the coup starts happening, is shoving money in a bag and like kills himself to get away from the consequences of his actions. But yeah, it's just a different sensibility about like what is, and I love the way that thing moves. Like, I love the way the you know, when he starts to lose power, and I think that's really where it drives home the like progress for progress sake thing. When he starts to lose control, the metal parts of him start to like, they're the first thing that starts to grow out, as if they're like colonizing like everything around him.
Yeah.
And then slowly, and it's
Like when he's sitting on the chair.
and it's like, and it's, you know, the progress, the creation of this like man and machine thing, what they've made him into is overtaking, you know, his humanity.
Right.
And it's neat. I love it. I could talk about this movie
Yeah, it's a
forever,
great movie.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's great.
All right, so next time you get to bless us.
Yeah,
with,
you get to bless us with a pick.
choice.
Yeah, and so there's been a movie that I've thought about doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not controversial, but I don't know that y'all would love it. I don't know that you've seen it either.
Mm-hmm.
But do you
just,
already?
Just bracing.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you already knew. But I think it's very interesting to watch if you live here in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be fun to talk about the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Oh, I've seen that.
That's a documentary?
Yeah,
It's a documentary.
about Jessica White.
Yeah, I've seen that. My friends made
Yeah.
me watch that before I moved here.
I watched that.
It was not
You've
the
seen
best
it?
introduction to West Virginia.
It's been a while. I remember I watched it years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought it would be an interesting movie to talk about.
Well, is that your pick?
Can we do that?
We can do the Wild and Wonderful
That's
Whites.
up to you, man.
Okay.
your
Let's
pick.
do
It's
the
your
Wild
pick.
and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's different. I
Mhm.
think it'd be a different kind of conversation. It is you know, a lot of people know the movie, and whether that's good or bad, you know. All right, so Canopy, go on Canopy. It's Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. That's what we're going to talk about next time. So join us, or watch it, and then join us for. I'm going to expect kind of a lively discussion. We'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like there'll be a lot to talk about. But yeah, so join us for that. Until then, I'm Aaron.
I'm Josh.
I'm Tobey.
And this has been The Real Opposites.